I have read this verse so many times, but today when I read it, I just got this big wave of nausea. This hit me like a ton of bricks today. It's Matthew chapter 7, verses 13 and 14. And really listen to this. You can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate. The highway to hell is broad, and its gate is wide for the many who choose that way. But the gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few ever find it. And I just sat there. What is the opposite of few? More, several. Few is smaller. And the opposite of that is more. And it just hit me. I was walking through the store. It just hit me. Most of the people in this world are going to die and go to hell. The gateway to life is very narrow, and the road is difficult, and only a few ever find it. You can enter God's kingdom only through the narrow gate, and its gate is wide for the many who choose that way. If that doesn't spark a sense of urgency in us, nothing will. Can you just go around and you look and you think, you watch TV, you go through your social media, you go walk in town, you go to your job or school or out shopping or a restaurant. Most of the people that you see are not going to go to heaven when they die. And I got the biggest sick wave thinking about that. It is absolutely heartbreaking to me to think that these people, they don't know that they're choosing hell. The reason they're choosing hell is because they're rejecting God. That's the plain truth. There's no way to sugarcoat this. There's no way to tickle your ears with this. It is the plain truth. If you do not choose God, you are choosing Satan. You are choosing hell. If you do not choose heaven, if you don't choose to follow God, you are choosing to follow Satan. And that is the most sickening feeling to me. So many good people who are just choosing to live in the world and the ways, and they choose to not follow God because that means they have to give up stuff that they love to do on this earth. And it's just, we have got to get out, Christians. We have got to get ourselves up and tell people about God and heaven and the consequences that are involved when they don't choose God. When they choose to reject God, they are choosing Satan. They are choosing the wide gate. In Matthew chapter 28, verses 19 and 20, go and make disciples of all the nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. Go and make disciples of all the nations. And then Mark 16:15, and he said to them, go into all the world and proclaim the gospel to the whole creation. We are supposed to be telling people about God. And then these two verses are some of the most powerful verses in the entire Bible. Romans chapter 10, verses 14 to 15. But how can they call on him to save them unless they believe in him? And how can they believe in him if they have never heard about him? And how can they hear about him unless someone tells them? And how will anyone go and tell them without being sent? That is why the scriptures say, how beautiful are the feet of messengers who bring good news. People are dying every day without God. It doesn't have to be the end of the world for people to die and go to hell. It doesn't have to be the end of the world for people to see God's judgment, because when they leave this world, they will either be in heaven or hell. They will meet God one way or another. However they close their eyes into this world, they will be meeting God. They will see God. And we have to make sure that everybody has the ability to choose. We can't choose for them, but we absolutely can make sure they have the choice. We absolutely can make sure that they know what their choices are. If we don't tell them, how are they going to know? God appoints certain people to do certain things, and he appoints certain people to be messengers and teachers and prophets. And if you have that calling, you need to be up and doing it. Because all these people that we are seeing laughing in stores and having fun with their kids, it doesn't matter how good of a person they are. If they are not saved, they're not going to go to heaven. So it is our job to get up and tell them, no matter how unpleasant it is, no matter how much hate we get, no matter how much people call us names. It is our job to make sure that everyone is given the choice so that they know which path they need to choose and what the consequences are if they don't.